Hey guys, welcome back to the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast. We're your hosts, Kevin and Aisha Shelton, and today we are joined by the Joneses. Is that how you say it?
The Joneses.
The Joneses. Today we are joined by the Joneses of the Jones Group. Jamila and Curtis. I want to say Patrick. Jamila and Curtis, it is very good to have you with us today.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Thank you.
So tell us how to keep up with the Joneses. Break it down, what you guys do, and
that's gonna be their
yourselves
podcast
to our audience. Is it? Because that would be amazing.
I know, right? Okay, put that in the books. 2024.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, well, we have been in real estate collectively since 2018. Started in Mississippi, and then started in Mississippi and Jackson, and then in 2020, literally right before COVID hit, we moved to Houston, and the world shut down.
Yep.
And in the midst of that, we still worked and got our license. Well, I got my license first, but got our license. But we moved our family here. We have together. We have two little ones. We have a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and then our 17-year-old with us as well. But we moved here, and I think no turning back.
Why Houston?
So I'm from Chicago, and we needed to get out of Mississippi. No disrespect, because I learned.
So you from Mississippi?
I'm from Mississippi, born and raised.
That's what I said, no disrespect.
Okay.
I think I learned so much. I've learned to slow down and embrace family and culture in Mississippi, but I think that we needed more to grow together in our marriage, grow in our careers. And Curtis didn't want to go to Chicago. We went to Chicago for Thanksgiving. It was too cold for him.
Cold.
And
Definitely very cold.
I said, well, Houston is the next best thing. And honestly, the diversity here, the culture, and I love how so many entrepreneurs like yourselves just help one another. And I admire that so much. So that's why we came here.
So how did you get to Mississippi from Chicago?
So, of course, you all know everyone from Chicago has someone in Mississippi. So my mother...
That is true.
Chicago's nothing but North Jackson.
And everybody in Texas has family in Louisiana.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's how it
goes.
works. So my mom is from Mississippi, and I went to high school, of course, in Chicago, but I really wanted to experience the HBCU culture. So
You went to Jackson State.
you know it. I went to Jackson State.
The
The
For somebody who didn't go to a HBCU, I know all the damn HBCUs,
I mean, it's
bro.
not that many of them.
No, it's like
Yeah.
150 HBCUs.
Well, see how much I know about it.
I didn't think. I thought it was like only 8 of them as well. So don't feel bad.
Boy said 8 up.
Honestly,
Okay, that's awesome. So then but y'all met in Mississippi,
Yeah, we
not
met at
at
church.
school. Okay, at church.
Yeah.
Church. Okay.
I know,
Yeah.
right? After I graduated, I was looking for churches, and let's be clear, I wasn't looking for Curtis.
that's her version of the story. I got the real version. So.
I was looking for a church to, just grow in spiritually. And then just so happened he was there at the church.
So y'all met at church, but you were at Jackson State at the time?
No, I graduated.
You were
graduated.
living in Jackson.
I was still living in Jackson.
What did you do when you graduated from college?
So I was working in public relations.
Interesting.
Yeah, I started PR. I was doing that for about 4 years.
Okay.
And then the firm shut down. And then I was introduced to someone who worked in human resources. And so I said, oh, well, I'll do that. And so I got my master's in HR and recruiting. And so I was actually trying to do PR again, but it was just really hard to get back in it. So I continued working in human resources.
And Curtis, what were you doing?
At the time, I was active duty military. So straight out of high school, I went to the Marine Corps. I came back to Mississippi. What was it? 2010? Yeah, 2009 or 2010, one of those. And of course, from there, that's when I went to college. So I never did. I had the opportunity to actually attend a HBCU. That's one of my goals that I'm like, when I went to college, I wanted to hit. But of course, at the time, I got the wrong information, wasn't able to go. So I graduated from Belhaven. And of course, another way how I ended up getting her number was I found out that she worked inside of like the
Admissions.
Yeah, admissions. She worked in admissions. So I asked her, I said, I'm trying to get my degree in human resources. Can you help me out with that? Because I found out she had just graduated her human resources management degree. And from there, she got my number and she couldn't leave me alone.
So you were trying to get into admissions at Jackson State or Belhaven?
Belhaven at the time.
Because you were working for Belhaven. Okay.
Well, that's a cute story, Curtis. I don't believe it.
Thank you.
But he got in though.
It's a cute story.
But I said,
So
if you
did
gonna
you
be with
slide him
me-
in?
No, I made him do it the correct way.
But you facilitated the process.
I did.
assisted.
So then you
thank
liked him though.
You see, come on now.
I wanted to help another man,
That's what I'm saying.
another brother get into college
Yes.
and to
course.
grow.
Oh, help a
Yes.
black man out around
Oh,
black.
okay. Oh, now, yeah.
You
So
gotta
now,
help a black man get
exactly.
into
Yeah.
college.
So
He had a whole ass military free ride. He didn't need you. Like,
Yeah, I'm going with Jamila's story.
Thank you.
like I'm about like are we shows a need today in Mississippi?
you know, I had to put him on my back. He would have never got in.
I do say that.
I think she was very instrumental in ensuring that he was admitted into the school.
That's right. You know what? Y'all married now. It don't matter.
No, so yes, indeed.
And you are now you now have the Jones Group. So how did you guys get into real estate?
Okay, well, I got into real estate first, back in Jackson. And honestly, it was introduced to me by a few friends. Honestly, you all, I was not thinking about entrepreneurship. I was okay with 9 to 5. You know, that was my life. I was okay with that. And really had a couple of friends just say, you should really try real estate. And I just kept pressuring me and putting that in my ear. So I really tried it. And when my first deal was the hardest deal to this day that I've ever dealt with, that's when I realized I am passionate behind this because I could not sleep over that deal. Yeah. And I was actually talking to Curtis because we were working for an insurance company together at the time. And I was telling him, I think you'll be really good in real estate. But he wouldn't listen to me because I don't know any better.
You know, she only helped me graduate college. You know?
I see a pattern. So y'all both were passionate about HR at the time, right? Because you were going to school for, you were already working in it. Then obviously y'all migrated to this insurance company together, right? So y'all both working for the same company. And then you go into real estate, you pull him right on in. So, you know, you just facilitating that life right on out, right?
It's the right woman, right?
You taking your work husband and personal husband serious. You create your life.
Right?
Yep. So, yeah.
She just don't want to be alone in the office. See, that's the problem.
She couldn't leave me alone.
doing.
I told you she couldn't leave me
That's
alone.
what
I
we're
told you.
doing.
The pattern is showing that that's true.
You see,
That's what we're
the
doing.
facts. It's the facts. You know.
Okay.
That's right.
So-
You really like him. It's cool.
He was okay.
He really like you too.
He was there.
And that's beautiful though, because not a lot of couples like their spouse,
That is-
right?
yeah.
And it sounds like y'all are together a lot today, but in the past you did a lot of things together. And some people are like, oh, I can't believe you work with your spouse. Like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I really like him like a lot. Like, we have a good time together. And it seems like y'all do too.
We do.
Yeah.
Do. That's so important. And we really developed a really good friendship, you know, just connection. We play a lot. And, you know, I'm the goofy one. So we're always playing and he has his goofy moments too. And I think that really helped build our friendship.
Okay.
No, I love it. I love it. So coming to Houston right before the pandemic, taking that chance, rolling that dice with your whole family saying, hey, we're in it. Obviously, we're committed. We're going to make a life here. From moving, the world shut down, what was your thought process? What was your mind frame? And then how do you go from that to what you're doing now?
Well, okay, so Jamila, she was basically flirting with me with the city of Houston because it seemed like we was out here during there every weekend. It felt like it like that. And, you know, of course, so we was driving 6 hours and she was pregnant at the time too. You was pregnant at the time. And I came out here, just like she said earlier, and I went to Prospect Park. And I sat down at the bar and I had a conversation with just a couple of entrepreneurs and the mindset and the way how they were thinking. Because like you said at first, I was totally against moving.
You Jackson, 10 toes down.
All the way down. You know, I'm family oriented. You know, God rest my father's soul. He had passed. And then I'm the elder son. So I didn't want to leave my mom there by herself as well. So, you know, but we came out here and sat down and we went to the bar and I just heard this conversation. This guy was like literally writing down the plan on how to operate a box truck business on a napkin in the bar. And I'm like, they don't do this back at the house. You know, so it's something different here, you know. And then I was laying inside of the bed and her cousin stayed in a high-rise apartment. And I looked outside the window and I seen all the lights and everything. And I had made my mind up. I said, you know what? I said, we moving. So we went back. I think it was in December. I said, babe, we're finna get ready to move. And she said, so when we moving? I said, we out February 1st.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we had just bought a house in 2018. Yeah, and so I said, no, we gone February 1st. So we came out and boom, pandemic hit. Yeah. Now I'm stuck in the house.
I mean, y'all literally were
right
right before the
and a pregnant
pandemic.
wife.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we moved out February 1st, and the pandemic shut down everything like around March 15th or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm in the house. We got the toddler. He's running around wild. My wife, she's pregnant. I'm like, Lord, how are we gonna make this happen? You know. But we seen the potential and the opportunity that Houston presents. You know, and then, I mean, it seems like this is fertile soil. If you just put your seed inside the ground, it's bound to grow. You just got to make sure you put it in the ground and just keep it watered. So
And it has. So tell us the growth. Tell us the glow up that the Jones have had in Houston, because I've seen y'all around and I didn't recognize that you weren't from here. I thought y'all were homegrown Houstonians.
Y'all definitely have a very Houstonian presence.
Yeah.
Oh, well, appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't know. I think I know what that means. That's a good thing.
No, I mean,
That's a
so
good thing.
there's a confidence of knowing that this your space. You know what I mean? And I think all the way from the name, like how your company presents, how you guys present yourself, there's a confidence we're sure about where we are.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I love about it, because there's a lot of people who oh yeah, we ain't really from here. And we just getting into the market. Y'all not, other than knowing your background, would never know.
That's amazing.
We think you from South Side of Houston.
I love it. No, I love that. The pandemic, honestly, it forced us to figure it out. Yeah. I made sure, this was before he was licensed. So, at the time I was the one just promoting on social media like crazy. No one knows this, and I'm okay with saying it. I sold nothing in 2020, but my brand appeared that I did, but consistency. And Curtis and I, we sat there, we talked, we made a plan, because COVID, we had no choice but to talk it through, figure out what's next for us. We're here in Houston. Let's make the best of it.
And you were pregnant?
And I was pregnant.
Thugging, boy.
I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So, we literally, and I hate to keep saying it, but it's the truth. We had to figure it out. We had to talk it through. We made our plan and we stuck to it. And that's when he, decided to move forward out of insurance, get his license in real estate. We, met with our broker, Jamila. She helped us to come with a plan of action. And we've been sticking to it. And we're making sure that we're being so consistent in everything that we do. When we're out networking, talking, meeting people, social media presence, it doesn't matter. Consistency. And one of the things that Curtis said that he wants to make sure that we do is follow through with everything. So if we're going to talk about it, we're going to follow through with it. Yeah. It's been hard, but it's working.
Yeah.
And y'all been working together. I think that's the key, right? That's the secret sauce, because if y'all moved here and you say, hey, we move in February 1st, and you get here February 1st, and then you don't have that 2020 of selling anything, right? There's a lot of couples that be like, December 1, we breaking up. We going into 2021 with maybe we need to go back to Mississippi, restring the reel or whatever. But y'all doubled down and y'all work together to figure it out. And I love you saying that, figuring it out, because that's the difference between people who work out and people who don't. It's did you stay and figure it out? Right. Did you make it work? Did you work with your partner? Did you leverage everything to make it to the next level? So, no, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing, I guess, that helps us out a lot too is, something that one of my old pastor friends had told me when we went to counseling with him one time. He told us, each morning you have to wake up and you have to choose your spouse. Literally, you have to make that choice every day that I choose to be here with you. Even though yesterday was a rough day, today I choose to be with you. And we all know COVID had rough days all the way around. But COVID, I believe that COVID was a miracle for our marriage as a whole. Because before, and another reason why we moved from Jackson, because like I said, I'm pretty known inside of my city. That's my home city. So with being known, issues come up every once in a while. So of course, I had to separate myself from those issues and everything like that so we can grow. We have to, and then I had to also think about it. Yeah, it was hard leaving my mom, don't get me wrong. But you got to look at it what the Bible say. I got to leave my mom, got to leave my father, I got to cling to my wife, And I noticed that while I wasn't clinging, my chains, my shackles was breaking with my marriage. So I was like, I got to wrap this thing back in. Right, she a little bit too good. She a little bit too good to let go now. No, come back now. Come on back. So, but COVID, I think, really forced us literally to get to know each other all over again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the ways that how we really really made it around.
Yeah.
So,
And y'all had brand new babies and a
Yes.
toddler, bro.
what was it? What they call it? 200 two.
Under two.
Yep.
And y'all had a 15-year-old at the time?
Yeah, he was 15. Yep. He was
Let me
15.
tell you, so we have the same setup. We have a 6, we have a 3, and we have a 15.
Wow.
15 giving us the blues, bro. 15 giving us it's a girl though, so it's a boys. I imagine are a little bit different at 15, but Lord Jesus, 15 giving us the blues. But them toddlers keep us on the toe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They
So
come back.
yeah, it's a journey. It is a journey.
They do. So I don't think we told our audience what it is that y'all do. So tell us about the Jones Group and what you do.
Okay, of course, my name, I'm Curtis Jones, of course. And in the real estate group, what I do, I'm more of a listing agent, commercial agent, and I like to service veterans because I'm a veteran myself. So, and I think that the veteran community is one of the communities that are that's not represented at all.
Yeah.
And then of course, I always make sure I'm trying to uplift my wife, keep my wife pushing forward and everything like that so she can be successful. I like for her to shine. I sometimes like to take the backside. I like for her to be the face. You know what I'm saying? I like to do the back dirty work every time, but sometimes she try to push me out that way because I'm a little bit more social than she is. But yeah, that's the area of real estate that I'm inside. So my wife.
Yeah, I'm Jamila Jones, but mostly work with a lot of buyer agents and relocating. Since I still have a really big, I don't want to say audience, but a group of friends or associates from Mississippi as well as Chicago. A lot of them have relocated to Houston.
See, you stealing people, man. You stealing people from Mississippi and from Chicago.
I want them
and moving
all.
like, hey guys, look how great we're doing. Move on over. Let me find your house.
And it's working.
It is.
So I really, really focus on relocating clients more than anything. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Fantastic. What plans do you guys have in real estate for just the sky's the limit? What's next for you guys, and what are those long-term things that you want to accomplish?
Well, for me, I just want to dominate Texas. At the end of the day,
Come on,
I got a Texas license. So I mean, if you're in El Paso, I'm coming. I hop on a plane. I'm out there. But realistically, that is what we really want to do. We want to just be everywhere. But I think with real estate, my passion behind it is the helping individuals, seeing that smile on their face. So, and like I said, me being a veteran, knowing veterans have been underserved, trying to curb that homeless veteran curve that we have right there, or maybe educating veterans on understanding what their benefits are, how they can use their benefits, and getting them inside of homes and everything. So I really want to make a very big impact to a veteran because I'm a vet. So
I love that.
I love that. I love that niche, and I love the relocation niche because honestly, you have a lot of vets that are coming into other cities, coming off of active duty, whether moving home or finding a new home, and they honestly need help. Right, navigating those streets. It's amazing the disparity in veterans who own versus veterans who don't. Right. So even though you get this VA loan with this 0 down, how many vets don't own a house? Never buy a house, right? And there's this huge audience for people who just don't know. They're not aware, especially Black men veterans, right? Because a lot of us serve and they come back home on their butts, right? Like they don't get any of the access, the resources, the help, the support that they need, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. They never get the benefits of their actual sacrifice and service. So, I appreciate that niche.
My
for sure.
uncle is a veteran, and I don't know VA.
Your daddy is a veteran, and I mean,
My dad is a veteran, but I'm talking about in Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
He uses his benefits and help other people use their benefits too. I think he's a licensed agent.
He is.
Where he is.
Him and his wife.
But they invest and, obviously got their primary residence, but they maximize those benefits to its fullest potential. And I mean, it was things that we didn't even recognize that you could do with the benefits that you have from VA or whatever. So I think that's great that you're educating people. And
you just gave me an idea. We need to use your daddy's VA loan to buy.
It's a great idea. There you go.
So her father's a pastor.
You can say that on the internet. You can say that he's a pastor, but can you be like, we could use your daddy VA loan? It's supposed to be.
As long as he's living.
No, you can use it. Yeah.
We can assist my father.
Absolutely.
in
relocating.
Right.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. He lives in a house currently, but the church owns the house because he's a pastor.
Right.
So he doesn't have a house that he actually physically owns.
True.
So
and he can actually transfer the entitlement over to someone else and allow them to use it.
because that's the legacy.
Yep.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, you can actually do that. Yep. There's a way you can actually make that happen. Yep.
Oh my goodness, he should do that for my sister.
Man,
Okay.
he could. You know what? You're right. Because your sister doesn't own. I
Yeah,
agree.
you should do
I
that for
agree.
them.
Okay.
Really
We own
nice.
plenty of houses.
We
Let me
do.
stop.
I love it.
Definitely.
I love this.
Well, look at that. That was good.
See,
you know.
knowledge.
Yep.
No, but that's a niche.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my brother's in the Navy now. He's active duty. He's been in for 10 years. He plans to retire. He don't own a house.
Right.
And every day I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Oh man, I'm gotta get my stuff ready.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Boy, if
you
you don't come
traveling
by
the
one of these
world.
houses we can build-
Thank
That's
you.
because we build houses every day.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm like,
Out there.
you traveling the world, you got a 1,000 hat collection, sneakers galore.
Right.
Buy a house, bro. Stop wasting your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a question for you guys.
Sure.
Because you guys are going into, I know, because you guys are in a lane that we do want to experience later on, of course, like on the development side. Like, what made you guys actually just jump into on that side of real estate as well?
Look
So
at
that's
Curtis
my
switching it up.
background. So I've been building for 17 years.
Okay.
So literally all I've done my entire adult life since I was 19 years old is construction. All I've ever wanted to do since I was 12 years old is construction.
Wow.
That's what I went to school for. That's what I mean, I go to sleep at night. I wake up in the morning thinking about building stuff.
Okay.
That's not how we got here, though.
That's true.
So we got here. We started off as investors. We wanted to build generational wealth. You know how it go. And so we were investing, but not only were we investing, we had shiny object syndrome, which I feel like a lot of people in our generation do, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody sees things on the internet, and you need 12 LLCs, and you're going to have a trucking company and a real estate company. You're going to fix and flip and do all these things, right?
Right.
So we too fell victim to the shiny object syndrome.
And did all of
So
that.
We did fix and flips, and we had Airbnbs, and we did buy and holds, and we did real estate education and all these things.
Wow.
And it was a lot too much, and we were a jack of many trades and a master of none.
Oh, that's powerful.
And so 2019, so 2020 for us was a relief as well, because 2019 we had all of these things going in our business. We were real estating, and then things started to kind of come crashing down.
We had
at
our
the end of
best, worst
2019,
year.
The best worst
Really?
year. So
Okay.
then 2020 came and the pandemic shut everything down. So we were able to like get our lives
We
together.
Yeah.
in the
literally
midst
God
of-
slowed the world down so we could catch
I
up.
say that all the
Yes.
time.
I
Like the Lord
agree.
slowed the world down for us.
Wow.
And there was tragedy and all of that. And for some people, you know, there was blessings. And we definitely were blessed in the pandemic. So it was during that time that we recognized like, okay, let's focus on our strengths, right? And let's do one thing. So Kevin, with the background that he had, we're like, let's do new construction. Because with the flips that we did, the work that Kevin does, I'm not sure if you've ever seen any of his products, he puts his heart and soul into the stuff that he does. He can't half-ass it,
you
okay? Well, the fix and flips that we were doing in the area, we were passionate about it because it's where our family is from, it's where his family is from. He put more into these homes than the other investors who came into our community and put into those homes. So when it came to appraisals, they just wouldn't appraise.
Right.
Okay.
But we wanted to make sure we gave people a good product. So we accidentally had a new construction house because it was a flip that fell down, and we started from the
Always
ground up.
tell that story wrong.
It was an accident.
No, that's true, but we were also doing another new construction simultaneously. Sunny
Oh, Lord.
Dulcimere.
Oh, we were?
Yeah, they were built at the same time.
So I'm glad you cleared that up for us. So anyway, that's when it was like, okay, we're doing new construction and sales. I had a license. I got licensed just because on the acquisition and disposition of our investments, we looked at the end of the year and saw that our realtor made like 60 grand just off of us.
Right.
And so I made like 55 and I had to go to work every day.
Right.
And somebody told me what to do. And my coworkers weren't the nicest to me. And so that's when I was like, okay, let's get licensed. So we just focused. You licensed, you build, we come together
That's so
and we circulate.
powerful.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Like
that's so
that. I
powerful.
like that.
So that's how we got.
I don't know that it was a plan either. I think it was divine. It was ordained.
It started off as an investment, and what slowly became the jobs, right? Because I've never minded going to work every day, regardless of who I'm going to work for. So I secretly just work for her, generally, right?
Of course.
It's the same thing.
It is,
But
of course.
it was a combination of the sacrifice in time, because my territory was from Louisiana to California. So I'd be gone 4 days a week. And when we had our youngest daughter, it was really, really hard for me to maintain that schedule. And so we started building out a team, but I wasn't here to manage the team. Okay. So in 2019, it was like, okay, you either, do something to get off the pot. Right. And we sat down with our CPA and we had 3 long 3-hour meetings, and it was like, look, you got this opportunity in front of you. You got all these moving parts, all this stuff. So we're like, okay, roll the dice. We both quit our jobs at the same time. Right. And it was good until it was horrible. Oh, wow. And it was like, oh my God, the world is falling. And we lost to the tune of $300,000. And it was like, we gonna die, like we gonna crash. And, thank God that he had a greater plan for us than anything else. That's because powerful. The refining in that fire was the synthesizing of our skill set down to just building and selling. Right. So now for the past 4 years, almost 4 years, I guess this is the May is the anniversary of us quitting our jobs in 2019. All right. Which we left our jobs May 19th, 2019. Wow. Okay. And come on, from then, I swear you remember that date. Come on. Well, it's May, and so somebody else reminded me of it. Okay. But from then till now, we've worked full time in our business together. Right. And the business has grown. Our staff has grown. Yeah. We were able to completely change our business model to be more consistent and more stable and grow our company that way. And now it just became an operating business. So we're getting back to the investment side. This year is our year to start back stacking up doors. And we're excited about that, but we're not more excited than the benefits of having this operating business and the stability that it provides for our household. Yeah. And now growing that business is our biggest investment, right? Yeah. And that's our baby. Nice.
I love that.
Yes, indeed.
That. You guys are definitely.
Appreciate you for sharing that information. I really do. That's powerful. That's
Y'all
powerful.
are a force too, though. Like, we talk to couples at least once a week on this podcast. And the one thing I recognize is that couples who, one, enjoy being together, there's just this spark, that there's this synergy that's necessary to do the things that you guys do and to do the things that we do. And we also talk to couples who not necessarily have been on the podcast, but they're like, well, what do I do if my wife don't believe in it, or if my husband don't? And we used to try to coach people through that, but honestly, I think this is so necessary. This synergy that you guys have, the synergy that we share here, on this platform, I think it's important that exists. Absolutely. Because it can get tough, and when it does, you want somebody that's in the trenches with you, but not only in the trenches with you. When it gets tough, they're like, okay, this hard, and we're gonna do it together, as opposed to, I told you not to do that. I told you that wasn't gonna work. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I enjoy spending time with people like you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, likewise. And we, when things do get tough for us, and I love it when I'm weak in an area, he's strong. When I'm just like, oh, Curtis, I don't know, and he's like, no, baby, we got this. We can do this. Let's revisit our plan. Let's revisit our why. And we have those moments. Even there are times when we are both, feeling the same way. We have to figure out, okay, I need to give Curtis his moment. I'll give me my moment, and then we will come back and we will talk this thing through.
Yes,
because we've learned, and we're still learning, personal and business. It's tough. It's not easy. When we're trying to have a business conversation, and then it gets personal because we're married. It happens.
There's no separation.
Look, we literally start off meetings with like outside parties and be like, look, we married. So we might bicker a little bit during the course of this meeting.
What you're saying is two business married partners. Right. Yes. Two business partners that are married. Right. The conversations that we have do get,
So Curtis, I have a question for you. You had the definitive decision to move the family, right? Right. When you got here and the world shut down, as a man, what was and you might have still been working insurance or whatever, so you had that residual income coming in. But what was your thought process like? Man, did I move my family to a burning house? Or what was your feeling? And then being able to go home to a partner that like made you feel better about that, or at least was on your side, like, hey, we're gonna rock this thing out. Like, explain that mindset. Like? Yeah.
So when we left, and it is funny because I had actually just left a job.
Oh man!
I left the job. I think it was in November, and made the decision in December, and we moved in February. So I didn't have a full-time 9-to-5 job. I still was doing insurance on the side. Like I had my clients that I used to go see or whatnot, like that I was getting residuals off of. But when we came out here, I didn't have any job at all.
Oh man!
But I knew that was gonna force not only myself to say, okay, we finna make this ish happen, you know. But I knew I had my wife that was gonna be behind me that wasn't gonna allow me to fail.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's very important as a husband, as a man, as a father, that you have to have that woman that's the helpmeet. You know, I mean, she's there to when you're feeling down, when you feel like you can't do it, when you don't feel like you're Superman, she's still back there cheering you on, pushing you forward, regardless of how the situation looks. So I think that knowing that I had that Superwoman in my corner to help continue to keep pushing me forward actually gave me more encouragement to actually continue to keep on going out there and go do what I had to go do.
Yeah,
you know,
beautiful.
Yep. So that because it was definitely scary.
Look, man,
it was because
I know.
I was like, man, what the heck? And then the crazy part about it, I also had just started working for Humana. I was working with Humana March 9th and shut down on the 15th.
Wow.
Oh man!
But just like you said, how God works, I made more money in insurance during COVID without even seeing clients because Humana was such a great company. They literally took care of their sales reps. They were paying us money on projections of what we made last year,
just to support you during that time.
So
y'all were stable and able to build, you know, the business, get licensed, all the stuff worked out.
So are y'all full time in real estate now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both. Yep.
I am now.
Yeah, she jumped. Yeah,
I jumped. Yes.
So when did you jump?
Well, just jumped within this month.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah. You said welcome. Yeah.
I would not have known.
I know, and I never talked about it because I didn't really want my clients to know because you know that I was working full time too.
Look, man, you got to support your health.
Team. You got a team.
Yeah, we got to have a team. So I didn't want people to know that I was still working. You know, some people get turned off by that. You know, but yeah, we're finally together. I was just tired of being told what to do.
Yeah.
I was tired of being told, "Do you have this for me yet?" And I'm like, "Listen, I got to go show this house. I don't have time to get this to you."
I don't know. Once you jump out here, it's so hard. I cannot imagine having to clock in and go to work anymore.
Right.
Once you've had the ability to make your own schedule and eat what you kill what you eat.
I don't feel that way.
It's both.
My life is the same.
Yeah, Kevin is a worker. Bee.
But my physical life is the same. So I've had this level of flexibility, this level of responsibility, and this level of management since I was 21, 22. And the reality of the situation is my day-to-day life, the only thing that changes is who I'm building for.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the responsibilities on the financial side, going to find the money, going to, put the deals together, that has changed. The stress level has definitely changed. But the day-to-day activity level hadn't changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes.
And I hadn't clocked in, so I haven't been on a clock
since
I was like 23.
Yeah.
Welcome to that.
Thank you.
Welcome to the full lamb.
It's a different industry though. Because that's the thing about it. Like coming from the construction industry, and I did commercial construction. If you can build, if you can produce, your pay is tied to your ability to produce. Okay. So, not being college, the best student, one thing I would do is go to work. So by the time I graduated, I was a project manager when all my peers were graduating, starting off as field engineers. Yeah. So I had a child at 20 and I had to work my ass off the entire time. And that work ethic prepared me and also saved me in a lot of ways from having to start over or go through a lot of the challenges. So by the time I graduated school, even though it took me 10 years, I was still making the salary of, a previous college educated, highly, credentialed person. So that was a saving grace.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
So if there's a couple who saw the Joneses and wanted to do what you're doing, one day we want to do that, we want to be like y'all, what advice would you have for them?
Man, first advice I would say that because we were not at first, be on one accord.
Yeah.
Listen to each other's goals because our goals at first were not aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize like, oh, you want to do that? Okay, I didn't know you wanted to do that. And the same thing with me. And once we finally decided to talk it through, like, okay, this is our goal for 2022, 3, and so on, things started falling into place. So that's what I would say. Before you jump out there and do anything, make sure you guys are synced with your goals.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very important to be on that right vibration. You know, you guys got to be on the same wave. You got to have the confidence in yourself as well. You know, usually, you can't doubt yourself. You can't doubt your decisions because being an entrepreneur, being 100% out there in the field or whatnot, it's you. It's you against the world. So, I mean, you have to be confident in every decision you make. Even if it's the wrong decision, you got to make the wrong decision and learn from it. So you got to get in there and make sure that you communicate. Lord knows. Communication.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes. Communicate. I'm going to say it again. I was horrible at that.
Yeah.
I was horrible at that. But once I learned, see?
We married.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm still learning to communicate more. Yeah. But I do believe that's helped us out a whole lot too as well. So, and then,
Yeah, I love what you said about planning together and having the same goals. And so that's a really good segue for us to pitch our conference. The Marriage and Real Estate Conference, November 3rd through the 5th, 2023, where you too can be in the room with couples who are doing this, right? We always preach how important it is to have community, and that's the reason why we started, the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast, and why we're launching the Marriage and Real Estate Society is because you're probably the only people in your family that do what you're doing, right? And so to your family, y'all kind of crazy. And what you've done is crazy, and they wanted to protect you. And so they probably didn't want you to do that.
Right.
As opposed to being around, it's important to be around a group of people who normalize everything that you're going through, who normalize being in business and married, who normalize loss as lessons instead of, the world is about to end. Oh man, you lost a lot of money. Because we recognize that when you do lose, you walk away with something even greater.
Absolutely.
And it sets you up for your next opportunity.
Right.
And so we are very passionate about bringing couples together so that we can vibe off of each other and grow and learn. If you could somebody could tell you something that could save you 30 years worth of work in 30 minutes.
Yes.
Right? Because they've been there. And again, we don't have the kind of network in our families that can give us that information. And so that's why we created this. So please join us in November at the Marriage and Real Estate Conference. I'm going to just claim that the Joneses will be there.
We will.
We will be there.
Tell our audience where they can find you guys.
Yeah, so the Jones Group, Curtis, help me out. The J Group _.
I wish I could stand up and just show you my shirt.
It's
at the Jones Group. On Instagram, it's at the Jones Group _. Facebook, it is the Jones Group. And then, of course, our website is thejgroup.net.
So. There we go. You know it.
Yeah, no, I struggle.
No, I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for being on our podcast.
We enjoyed it.
When y'all start keeping up with the Joneses, we definitely
put us on a roster.
Put us on a roster,
First
for sure.
Yes, indeed.
But no, this has been another episode of the Marriage and Real Estate Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, and definitely check out marriageandrealestateconference.com for conference tickets. We out.
All right.